walked down the path and there's an elephant just hanging out.
Oh, hi.
So we are in Thailand right now. Just got in yesterday. We're kind of jet lagged, but I'm here with Mr. Levi Allen. What's up? Yeah, how's it going? So he's helping me. I'm shooting one of my VR 180 pieces, and we're just kind of walking around the temples right now. So yesterday was pretty awful. We were horribly jet lagged, and then today I guess we're pretty good. We've been up since 3 though.
Really early wake up.
But this is our only day in the city. We're in the old city right now in Chiang Mai. Tomorrow we're gonna go to an elephant sanctuary and we're gonna be completely cut off in the jungle for like 3 days. But I wanted to do a behind the scenes that kind of shows not only VR 180, but also just the idea of experience in your videos. Because when it comes to creating VR 180 content or just VR content in general, the biggest thing is that you're able to experience another place, another world, another culture, and really be immersed in it. And I don't think that you just have to be doing VR content to be able to have this idea of just completely immersing yourself and experiencing another place. We're gonna talk a little bit about experience, how you capture the experience in this vlog, but I'm also gonna just show you some behind the scenes as we explore Thailand. All right, you can have your camera back.
Thank you.
With any film that you're creating, the stories are like an onion, and you need to peel the layers back to reveal what's underneath. My original intention when I came to Thailand was to talk about elephant tourism and shed some light on the dark side of what happens in this industry. However, from a Western perspective, the first thing that people jump to is just the idea of stop riding elephants. But if we're just looking at the issue from the outside, we're missing so much more that goes into the story of why things are the way that they are. And so the first step when we got into Thailand was to just explore with fresh eyes. And so instead of just going straight to the elephants, I planned a day to just go around the city and really set the tone and the ambience for this film before we get into the bigger issue.
About picking which angle to use here.
Okay, so right now I want to get some of the temples in the shot because this is why we're here in this area of the city. And so I'm trying to find a good spot where you can kind of look around every direction and be able to see different parts of this temple. It's really visually intriguing. VR is kind of a pain to shoot just because the technology is not super easy to use. And I've got this setup where the camera actually sticks out away from the plate and it can all fit in my backpack super easy.
Does your watch still say the time we are on back home?
Yeah, so right now it is
12:38. That sounds
so
about right.
It's 12:38 a.m. No, it's in the morning. We are running at 1 a.m. time right now. It's kind of like, to me, it feels like theater. So like way back when in high school, I actually did theater in school, and just that style of thinking of when you're on stage and everything's happening and unfolding and you have to think about what's happening on this side of the stage versus this side and where you're directing focus. The same principles apply when you're working in VR, because you have to think about every space around, and somebody can be looking at any space at any moment. And so it's a mix of directing their attention, and it's also just a mix of letting people explore and have this experience where they feel like they're there and they can make the choice. It's really interesting to think about in terms of filmmaking and how you craft a story in this space.
We're currently heading up Doi Sute. Did I say that right?
Doi Sute.
Doi Sute.
We actually just ran into Dee and Nick Nimmin. Look at this guy.
What is going on?
They live here in Thailand, so he's taking us on a little tour up the mountain. We're gonna go find a spot to grab the sunset, but I'm getting my final shot in the city for the VR film. We're gonna go back down to the temple, which is just getting hit with the perfect glow of light right now. Except we're up here. It's okay.
U-turn.
One of the hardest, but probably one of the most important aspects of creating an experience is choosing what to cut. Here in Thailand, we shot a ton of different scenes that never made it in my VR film. And even in this behind the scenes piece, there's tons of footage that we shot that's never gonna actually make it into the edit.
It's nice having this small setup because I'm basically just running around with this, and once it's set up I can kind of move it and go. But this is one of the most famous temples here. I thought it'd be a great spot to transition from the city into the elephants, kind of set the scene, set the ambiance of Thailand, because when you're in VR and you're doing the experience, you really want to feel the culture. So that's why the first part of this film, I've set it up in a way where I'm going to different temples, I'm doing some different shots around just the city of Chiang Mai, so you get a sense of what it's like here in Thailand before we actually go into the jungle and actually start experiencing the elephant sanctuary. The goal is to bring you into Thailand as a whole, not just one aspect of it, and that's kind of my goal with this piece. What's up? Hey, we're about to jump in the car and drive 3 hours into the jungle.
To tell a story, you need to adopt an essentialist mindset and just focus on the elements that will actually help paint the picture and cut out all the rest. This is one of the hardest parts about creating a video, but when it's done right, it just clicks and you're able to get your audience completely immersed in the video that you're creating.
All right, I'm gonna pause the video right here before we get into the jungle, but one of the things that is really gonna help immerse your audience into the story that you're telling is music. And a lot of times I'll use my music to help drive the scenes that I'm creating. So I wanna thank Soundstripe for sponsoring these BTS pieces. They're the music that I've been using for all of these videos, and you'll hear it in all the VR videos that I'm doing as well. So what I like to do is go to Soundstripe and start searching through the library before I even start cutting. And the idea is going through and finding a track or a series of tracks that really encompass the feeling that I want to create with the video. And so from there, what I'll do is pull those tracks into my timeline and start cutting the footage with the music. And this is a great way to get started with your edit, so you can start getting in the mindset and getting in the feeling of the video that you're trying to create. And the music is going to help drive the rest of the video. So guys, I highly suggest checking out Soundstripe. They've got an awesome library and they're super easy to use. I'll put a link down below in the description to where you can find out more information about Soundstripe.
Welcome to my house. Yeah, that's it. It's a wood hut with a bug net over a foam mattress.
I wonder if it's gonna rain all day and just make it extra challenging, or if this is just like you've arrived in the jungle. Hello.
That was cool.
That was amazing.
We just walked down the path and there's an elephant just hanging out. And I mean, because this is a no-touch sanctuary, you're not obviously supposed to touch them, but if the elephant comes up to you, you know, you just let it do its thing. So it was definitely just like...
It was interested in you. It reached out for your camera at some point.
It kept trying to, you know, see what's going on with the camera. I mean, it's like you don't need to have that experience of like touching these animals. They're here, they're massive. Just being in the presence of a creature this size, it's unreal. And that's why, you know, the whole idea of like coming just to ride and touch an elephant doesn't really make sense, because honestly, like the experience of being here and being involved with them, and the elephants are here, they're around, you feel their presence, you're with it, but you don't need to like go ride it.
In VR 180, you can't shoot in the rain because you're shooting with two lenses, and you're creating a stereoscopic image which allows you to see the 3D depth effect. However, because of this, if you get anything on the lens, it causes spatial disparity between the images, and it really messes with the image when you're playing back. So you can't have anything on the lens. And being in the middle of the jungle with this camera basically means that we had to wait until the rain stopped. And so we just followed the elephants for hours through the jungle, just waiting for that moment that we could actually pull the camera out.
When we were walking up through this little slot canyon area, and it would have been like the perfect moment for some VR 180 action. And that's just like the challenge where you come all the way across the world and there's like the perfect scenario, and then something like rain prevents you from getting just that shot. Could have been so immersive. So
it was so incredible just to watch it move up across the rocks, and you know, it was a pretty cool experience. But with rain, you can't shoot VR 180. It just doesn't work.
So we're on a quest to get some shots. that's what's happening now. We just got to get some good moments with the elephants walking by.
And try not to get bit by something out here.
Yeah, and stay alive.
So we're currently just waiting. I've got the camera set up right here, and I've got a nice shot where they can walk past. But they are taking a little dirt bath. I don't know. I guess it protects them from bugs, and if they get itchy, which I could use some of that right now. And they're just throwing mud all over themselves. There's 2 of them over here, and yeah, trying to get some shots with the VR camera as close as possible, because I think the true power will be in seeing them up close as they walk by camera. Guys nailed that shot.
When you're creating a video, there are so many different things that you need to think about. What to include, what to remove, what elements help paint the picture of the story you're trying to tell. What do you need to show before? What do you need to show to set the tone? But most importantly, you also need to think about, what do you want your audience to leave with after watching your piece?
Jeven, size 11 for size.
That's insane.
You look like kid shoes next to these elephant footprints.
Look.
Oh my goodness. I've never seen a footprint that big.
We got kind of the coolest spot to get these elephants coming down through the river with all these rocks overhanging. And they're gonna climb down these rocks and pass right in front of the camera.
This might be the coolest shot of the trip right here. This might be
This
it.
is the money shot.
VR rig, elephants. What do you think, Berm?
Look very good. Just waiting for them to come in over here. I don't know what's going on now. They just like talking to each other.
Now, it's easy to look at Thailand and think that it's a simple solution to just stop riding elephants, but there is much more involved when it comes to this issue. So throughout our trip, as we trekked through the jungle, we had a chance to speak with Berm and Emily, who are the founders of Bees Elephant Sanctuary, and we really got an interesting perspective on the issues of elephant tourism and why it's such an important issue, but it's also one that's not going to change overnight.
If people are coming and spending their money at a hands-off place versus a riding place, then eventually the riding places will start moving in a different direction.
They'll
right?
have to.
They'll have to.
But at
keep
the
up.
same time, if we completely stop, so say if the government decided, okay, we'll listen to the Western influence and ban riding, then we're going to have the same situation that we had when logging was banned, because we can't simply just overnight create all of these safe spaces for elephants. Unfortunately, the land has been stolen. Trees have been logged. 75% of the forest is gone, so there's not enough spaces for elephants to be released. There's around 4,000 registered captive elephants in Thailand, and so where do they all go? How do we manage them? It's going to take a lot of time to be able to get people to move in the direction of giving the elephants land, giving the elephants space, giving them the freedom to just be an elephant, because many of the elephants have been moved to the cities. But I do believe in the future we can work towards projects that have land and space for elephants. I really believe that.
So in my 2 documentary films that I've created out of this experience, I go through this more in depth. And even though I've been working on projects around this issue, it was still super eye-opening being here and hearing firsthand why things are the way they are.
So I've gotten the question a few times of why even make this kind of film on my channel that does a lot of like YouTube tutorials and things like that. But when it comes down to it, these are the stories that can help make a difference in the world, even if it's just a small difference. And even if I only change the mind of a few people to go to one of these sanctuaries, no touch, all of that, don't come to Thailand to ride an elephant. Even if I could, convince a couple people, then I think it's important to create these stories, because as creators, we actually have the ability to influence others. And we have the ability to tell stories that actually make a difference. And we don't have to have like crazy budgets to create these documentaries. We can just go out there and do it and use our experiences to help make an impact in this world. And for all of you that are creators out there, I think it's important to be aware that your reach does have an impact, and the things that you do can make a difference in the world, even if it's small. It doesn't have to be a huge thing. And it's pretty awesome that in this day and age that we have this ability to tell the stories that we want to tell and actually make a difference. I've seen in 6 years the tourism completely change because of YouTubers, because of Instagrammers that are socially aware and have been promoting sanctuaries like this versus promoting elephant riding. And that is just one small thing in this world that I've seen change in such a short period of time because of social media. It's a really awesome time to be a creator, and there's so much potential with creating on this platform. Say hi.
Hi!
What can people do to support what you're doing here? This is incredible.
People can donate, they can come and visit and help us out here on our visitor program. You can come and volunteer, visit with us for overnight stay, 3 nights, 4 days, 1 week. And if you're not able to come to Thailand but you want to help and support us, you can make a donation online. We have a Simply Giving account. So if you guys want to jump onto Facebook or on to our website, you'll be able to make a donation as well.
Cool.
Yeah.